My daughter Lindsey was one who basically came out of the womb an entrepreneur. It was her baby. She created it all. I was the guy in the background. When she got sick, basically I had to step forward. And, we expected her to come back, and that didn't happen. One of Lindsey's goals was to help other entrepreneurs, because a lot of people think you have to be anointed to that. And so if you have that passion, you have that drive, go for it.
You're listening to the NEI Pioneer Podcast. This podcast is all about sharing the authentic stories of the people in our region. Gary Hively joins us today as the owner of Poptique, a local business in our region. Poptique is a gourmet popcorn shop that has a storefront in Columbia City as well as downtown Fort Wayne. What makes this small business special is their story. The store was opened in 2008 by Gary's daughter, Lindsey. With Lindsey's passing in 2015, Gary knew that he wanted to keep her business running. Despite her passing, Lindsey's legacy still lives on through the Poptique business, and her story still inspires people to follow their dreams and remind them that the best way to live is to live bold. If you're interested in learning more about Poptique, be sure to check out the description below. So grab some of their gourmet popcorn to snack on while we listen to this week's episode.
I got to tell you, you are now my new favorite guest. And it's not just because you bring gifts, like the sweet green apple kettle popcorn, which is now my favorite, by the way. Did you try this one?
No, I have not tried that one. No.
Brice is with me today. We had met, I think, about a year and a half ago, and it was at the premiere for this show.
Correct.
And it was just before that I found out about your story. Would you mind telling us how this all came about and started? I'm sure we're going to talk about Lindsey in here, but whatever you're comfortable talking about would be great.
My daughter Lindsey was one who basically came out of the womb an entrepreneur and always had that desire. She went off to IU, Kelly School of Business, and we talked business a lot. She ended up coming home after her freshman year, and we started up Colonel Colada's at the point in Columbia City.
What was it called?
Colonel Colada's.
Okay.
Colonel Colada's Snack Shack. We had ice cream sandwiches, popcorn, and our initial goal was just popcorn. She was just going to sell popcorn on Friday and Saturday nights. It evolved. And we did that for a bit, ended up getting rid of the popcorn, or everything but the popcorn. And she took it and kind of rolled with it from there.
Where did the name come from?
She, as a high schooler, went to Hawaii with some friends. And so she loved anything to do with tropic. And so she came back. It was a very much surfboard theme. And so that's where she ran with that.
Wow.
Then down the road, she felt that was too juvenile. So she rebranded in 2014 or so to Poptique.
Yeah. And so, unfortunately, you lost her along the way.
Correct.
But you decided to stick with it. What was that?
Not really decided. It was never an option, I guess, to not keep it open.
Yeah. Just out of legacy,
I loved it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was her baby. She created it all. I was the guy in the background.
Okay.
I was the silent partner.
Yeah.
And so when she got
anymore.
sick, basically I had to step forward, and we expected her to come back, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So you carry on.
Well, a lot of my coworkers here went to school with her, I guess, back in the day. And I just thought, what a wonderful legacy that you guys have created to do this. And just out of curiosity, when you guys decided to let the other products go away and keep the popcorn, was that just because it was a bestseller, or was that more out of...
A lot of it was manpower, work. I mean, we had 3 ice cream machines, the amount of work doing that, hamburgers, hot dogs, you name it.
Yeah.
And finding good help, even that long ago.
Yeah.
And so we kind of decided, let's cut back and just go with popcorn. And at one point, it cut back to where it was basically just Lindsey in there. And she took it and ran with it, and then, expanded the popcorn from there and there.
You're talking about that she was kind of born with that entrepreneurial spirit. Did that come from you?
Well, I owned a business her whole life, so I believe so.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids played video games. She fell asleep reading business books.
No way.
And one thing her and her brother tried to set up, or they did set up a stand out by the road trying to sell rocks. No success.
It's usually lemonade, not
Correct.
rocks, but
Wait, were they painted
a
rocks?
higher profit on rocks.
Okay.
But cars went by about 40 mile an hour, and nobody would stop. But it was the drive and the determination, and you can't forget that.
Wow. Okay. And wait, so did she paint the rocks, or what?
No, they were just find them in
It
the
was just
driveway,
find
put them on a table, and hope people'd stop, but nobody stopped.
Well, I've been a part of worse businesses, so we can talk about that some other time.
That was her first really foray into business.
Wow, that's great.
And that
Okay.
was probably 7 years old, 8 years old, something like that.
I mean, it sounds like I mean, just with the flavors. I know that at our last event, we had given away, what was the flavor?
The raspberry one.
Razzleberry.
Yeah.
That was my favorite one. I don't know. Next to the green apple, of course. But how many flavors do you guys have right now?
Around 60 overall.
Okay.
They come and go, and some of them we call flashback. They'll go away and they come back. We've created a few new ones lately. For example, the kettles, flavored kettles.
What's the difference between kettle and regular?
Kettle technically has a lot less sugar.
Oh, okay.
Now, people think caramel corn and all those are terrible for you. A 5-gallon bucket only takes 4 cups of sugar in most. Now, kettles, it's only 2 cups of sugar. So very little sugar in that. So what it can do, it can cure the sweet tooth to keep you from eating them Jelly Bellies or a candy bar.
So where did the love for popcorn come from?
Well, probably started with me when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And my dad cooking it on Friday or Saturday nights over the stove in a big heavy pot.
Yeah.
You know, my dad did that in cookouts. Other than that, my mom did all the cooking. So we were a popcorn family.
Did you guys try to experiment with flavors back then, or was
Caramel,
it just
we made caramel once a year maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it was just plain old buttered popcorn, which is still my go-to.
Yeah.
That's still my favorite.
One of the things that when we do our backgrounds for the show, Callie usually heads that up, and she was talking about what it means to live bold. You had done, it looks like a project with the fundraiser for the cancer thing.
Correct.
How did they approach you? How did that all come about?
It basically came when Lindsey got sick, and her tombstone says "Live Bold" on the back.
Oh,
And
okay.
that kind of came about because of all her friends, and they felt she lived bold. You know, I saw a thing once where they talked about how you die, and you don't come in, you come sliding in,
Yeah.
all worn out and bloody and bruised, and that's how you live life. Lindsey was a very hard worker, but she just loved to have fun too.
And then how did you? I saw you on a local commercial, and it was for a credit union.
Yes.
How did that come? Because I was sitting there, and all of a sudden I saw you, and I was like, "What the? Like, where'd that come from?"
ProFed, which I'm a member,
Yep.
basically approached me and wanted to use us as a testimonial thing. And so they brought a crew out of Ohio and spent a few hours recording that video, me and other businesses.
Today, our studio is on the road because we are currently at our 2025 Pioneer Awards event. Each spring, we host an awards event to celebrate our region's pioneers. And just like our podcast, this event aims to showcase and share the authentic stories of the people in our region. This summer and fall, we're going to have open nominations for our Pioneer nominees. If you know someone who embodies the pioneer spirit and is creating positive change in the community, we would invite you to nominate them so that they can share their story. Then, just like this year, we're going to be celebrating all of the nominees at our Pioneer Awards event, which, speaking of, our 2025 Pioneer is about to be announced, so I have to go. But before I go, if you're in the Northeast Indiana region, we encourage you to check out our website at pioneerstartshere.com. That's pioneerstartshere.com. Now, let's get back to the podcast.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, about the business model, because you have storefronts, multiple.
Correct. We have two, Columbia City and downtown Fort Wayne right now.
Okay. And you're expanding into more corporate, it sounds like.
We've always done, but walk-in anywhere isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
So I'm expanding, or I shouldn't say expanding, just really working more on the corporate orders. And we've got a lot of people that we do birthdays for, thank yous, new clients, things like that, that all the customer has to do is send us an email, give us a call, out the door it goes. So hands off for them. And we can do custom stuff, a variety, custom labels, custom cards, which is what some of these items are.
So can we talk a little bit about the price points or how you work that out for the popcorns?
Price points anywhere really from $10, $15 up to whatever somebody wants, depending on the size.
So the minimum purchase would be?
Well, our bags start out at $250.
Okay.
With a custom label, $275.
Okay.
And occasionally somebody does a single bag at $275.
Oh, okay.
It can be done. Most of the time when somebody does custom label, they go beyond that. And we have standard labels like for high schools, graduations. We're starting to get those now.
Oh, sure.
Weddings, anything somebody wants something customized. A wedding thing, the picture of the bride and groom, the date, welcome for coming. We just did one that is, he popped the question and we said I do.
Oh, okay.
And so that's at a wedding. They're going to be doing actually a popcorn bar this coming weekend.
Oh, get out of here.
And so the label isn't
Where
going to
is
go on a
this wedding
bag.
that I wasn't invited to?
It's here in town.
All right. Where would that be, Gary?
We can discuss that later.
Whatever. Fine.
The label's actually going to be on a popcorn box that they scoop the popcorn into.
Oh, okay.
Since they're doing a popcorn bar. But they
Okay.
wanted that along with the message on the actual popcorn box.
I love it.
So
Is there any events that are like different than just weddings or anything like that that you've, had to, make popcorn for and put labels on and stuff like that?
yeah, there's actually a lot, and
Yeah.
even like right now, there are popcorns at the embassy with a embassy logo.
Mm.
We're working with them also on the Middle Waves Festival.
Oh,
They would like
yeah.
us to come up with a custom popcorn just for them, so we're kind of working on one. It's in the works.
Okay, so how much of your business is customization order versus retail?
The customization is going up, and the corporate orders is going up.
Mm.
And I feel that's where we need to go to survive, because most people are not going into stores like they used to.
Right.
They're not going into malls. They're not shopping malls.
I
Like they used to.
wonder what the switch was. Like why?
A lot of it's internet. I think even COVID,
Okay.
touchless.
Hmm.
And just like the
suppose.
popcorn bars, they were very popular for years. They're coming back.
Mm.
We've done half a dozen here in the last few months. Companies doing it. It's less expensive to get, a bunch of 4-gallon bags than a bunch of custom bags.
And how long do they last in the bags?
Well, we tell people a month. They'll actually stay usually longer.
Okay. Can we talk about some of the
Sure.
flavors that you got here? I got to tell you, so right now I am trying dill pickle, and it's very good. It's salty.
Salty with a touch of vinegar in there.
Mm.
That's been one of our best sellers and one of our most requested from day one.
What's your favorite?
Believe it or not, regular old butter popcorn.
That's it?
That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's very subtle. It's not like overpowering.
Yeah,
It's
it is
really
really
good.
subtle.
It is.
You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Yes, it's fairly subtle. We have a lot of people that like to mix that with things.
Yeah.
Probably the most popular mix with bacon is bacon cheddar with dill pickle.
Oh,
And-
speaking of,
People saying it tastes, you could kind of mix those two together. Now, in speaking with Alex from Powers Hamburgers, he requested a possible hamburger flavor. And I said, we kind of have one, because people kept coming in and requesting these two with a little bit of buffalo hot wing in it. And so talking to Alex, he mentioned onion. And I thought, we don't have any onion. So I kind of went back to the drawing board, and we added some onion and some other seasonings that I think are even better yet. In fact, we were working on that just this morning, still tweaking that one.
I got to
But,
tell you, that is awesome. That is the bacon cheddar.
yeah,
Now, did you try it with some of the dill?
I did. I had a piece and then I put in.
Unintentionally, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was already, it was still in it.
You could get the link to a burger in there pretty quickly. How often are you, in the kitchen, so to speak, mixing and trying all these different? Is that
It
how much
goes
of that of your day is dedicated to that?
It goes in stages.
Yeah.
So, actually we'll go months or longer without.
Are you hands-on with coming up with the flavors?
Yes and no.
Yeah, because you'd have to have some help, I would assume.
A lot of
right?
times it's, again, a suggestion that we'll throw something out there. That's a good idea. And we get those all the time.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you take it, you run with it, and sometimes it's, well, we've tried that. And Pam in Columbia City, she's very instrumental and loves doing it. And so that's one of the things the employees really like too, is she just created recently a dark chocolate salted caramel. That's been a hit too. That one's selling quite well.
The brands is constantly doing the same things you are as far as innovation, right? Is it shape? Is it taste? Is it whatever? And when she was on the show, we were asking them, her and her daughter, how many pieces of chocolate they eat a day, which means we should be asking you how many bags of popcorn you eat a day.
I don't eat bags, but I eat handfuls.
Okay.
There's a difference in eating it by the kernel and eating it by the handful. And I found out real popcorn lovers eat by the handful.
Okay.
So I eat it all day long, almost every day. Usually by the bucket, not the bag. Now, it's not always a big bucket, maybe a gallon or a half a gallon.
I mean, you guys have it listed on your site that you use strictly coconut oil, to pop the popcorn, and
Correct.
you guys use high quality ingredients. How important is that to you guys? And was that something that was all the way back when Lindsey started it? Using high quality stuff.
Yes, very much so. Even with our hot dogs, we paid 10 times what we could have got cheap hot dogs for.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had a lot of people say, I forgot how good a good hot dog is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with popcorn. We try to get the best kernels, the best oil. Now, we do occasionally use some other oils for people if they have an allergy,
Mm-hmm.
that they want something different. And today, the allergy thing, the vegan, the gluten-free, all that, we have to really watch that. So we keep our utensils and supplies, and so we don't cross-contaminate any from even a vegan standpoint.
What do you think the future is particularly for gifting and for corporate gifting? Do you think this is going to change, evolve more? What do you see as the future of it?
More of the packages we have here, because the customers love the fact that they can send us an email. In a few minutes of typing, out the door it goes. No hands off. Totally hands off for them.
Really?
Yeah.
And what's the typical turnaround for an order?
A lot of these we ship same day.
Really?
If you have like the cards we have on some of these in stock, we can just, we'll have their logo on it. We can put whatever message they want on the inside in a matter of minutes, print it out, put the box together, and have it out the door same day.
Wow. And have you guys ever shipped internationally?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Can you name some of the places?
I know we sent some to Iraq a while back when the war was going on.
For the military?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, we haven't done much overseas lately, but for a while we were doing quite a bit.
Barrett McNagny is a neighbor to us as well as a sponsor of this podcast. Barrett McNagny is a law firm that's located in downtown Fort Wayne, and they were founded in 1876. Now, I'll do some quick math for you. That's almost 150 years of experience. That's 149 years longer than this podcast has been around. Along with their experience, they also have a wide range of practice areas. They are best known for their trusted legal counsel where and when you need it. If you're interested in their services or want to learn more, be sure to check out the link in the description below. Now back to the episode.
The people that view our show, it runs the gamut, right? It's not just local, it's not just young, it's not just old, it's everybody. And so what we try to get into too is your thoughts on leadership, your thoughts on advice, career advice, and things like that. So we're going to get into some of that in just a little bit. But what would you say is the best thing about your job? What is your favorite thing that you do?
People, getting to meet the people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about your favorite thing. What is the hardest part of the job? And I can tell you're thinking something when I said that. So.
There's just never enough time.
Yeah.
Never enough time to get everything done.
Yeah. And it seems like you're kind of a perfectionist with the flavors.
Uh-huh. And everything. I mean, we want our labels to be on there straight. We want them to look good. We want the customer to be happy. We don't want kernels and holes. We sift everything. Mm-hmm. We've made apparatuses to do that with.
Have you custom made stuff to do that?
We have shakers. We have a tumbler to get holes and kernels out. And, even going back through, as we go through a bucket of popcorn, we'll throw it back in and sift it to get any small stuff off the bottom.
Oh, wow.
Because we don't want that customer getting holes, kernels, and small pieces in there.
Okay. Is there anything that as you look at the business and you think of the best times and the hardest times, what were some of the hardest times? What were you up against? What was making it difficult to get the product out the door?
The lack of customers walking around the streets, the mall, even pre-COVID.
Really?
Just the amount of customers walking into stores. Being in a mall, there's just not enough customers there.
Yeah. And so what did you do to combat that, or did you just have to kind of wait it out?
Kind of waited out, kept up the quality, tried to market to our customers.
Wow.
And tried to be in a good location.
Yeah. And what do you think of the locations you're in now?
Does very well. Now, Fort Wayne ends up being more of a walk market. People, we're downtown.
Yeah. In
Columbia City, it's more of a drive-to market. Most people that come to our Columbia City store drive there, so it's a destination.
Now, have you, with the downtown revitalization, with more stuff being built down here, are you seeing more of an influx? Have you benefited from, that?
Yes, definitely. The downtown is getting better all the time, I feel. They're building everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so people love to come downtown. And we came downtown, Lindsey and I did years ago. We would bring our bikes down a lot of times, especially Sundays, and just ride around. And what you said, Deadsville.
Yeah.
You know, and now we have the stadium, we have all these things to do, and shopping, restaurant.
At that point, what did success look like for you and Lindsey? You know, was it just having just the one store, or did you guys envision this, you know, growing into what it's
Well,
become today?
I think Lindsay's vision was probably stores all over the country.
Okay.
That would have been her vision.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about how people should look you up, how people should find you, what your URL is, what your locations are?
The best bet is to send us an email, GM, as in general manager, at poptiquepopcorn.com. That's POPTIQUE, popcorn.com. Website is poptiquepopcorn.com. We're doing a lot of work really trying to tweak it, get it up to where I want it to be, which it's not now. And we're adding a lot of new items, like I was saying, 100-pack, 200-pack, things like that. And a lot of these gifts on there.
Brice is going to take over for the rapid wrap-ups, right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. First question. I think you've answered a couple times. You know, what's your favorite flavor of popcorn? We'll just say not traditional butter popcorn. What flavor that you offer do you like?
Right now, in the savory end of it, I'm going with our Paradise, which is the cheeseburger flavored.
All right.
Very unique, but it works.
All right.
In a given week, you know, maybe to give you size, like one of these bags, a big bag, a bucket, how much popcorn do you think you eat in a given week?
Probably a gallon,
Okay.
which isn't a ton.
Yeah.
But I eat it consistently.
Mm-hmm.
About every day. I take it home, and that's my home snack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least you don't have to go to the store and buy
Now,
any.
there are
You just bring it home.
times, not too long ago, I had none at home, and I have a popper. I actually broke it out, and, I keep supplies at home just in case.
Yeah.
I was craving it, and I made some regular old butter popcorn at home.
Wow. All right, we got to hang out at your house now too. Now that I'm inviting myself to all of your shops.
What's your favorite weekend activity in Northeast Indiana?
Kayaking.
Anywhere in particular?
I love Mongo and
Okay.
the Pigeon River. The Eel River is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to doing some backpacking and motorcycle camping this summer.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
cool.
So I'm hoping here we warm up and I can do some of that.
Yeah, it's not getting there yet. It
Yeah.
will.
If you could get Poptique Popcorn to be in the green room of any celebrity, and this is more of like who's your favorite celebrity, actor, artist kind of question. If you could put your product in their green room before they go out on stage or anything like that, which celebrity would you pick?
Maybe Paul McCartney?
All right.
Nice.
Okay.
Beatles man.
I'm not much of a celebrity person.
Yeah.
Now, I did see his concert at Indy, and it was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Now, some of my popcorn does make it down to the embassy for the people there. Bob Dylan's there this weekend. Not sure if
Yeah.
he'll get some or not, but
Mhm.
maybe I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
I'm a volunteer at the embassy, so that helps.
Oh,
too.
there you
Plus,
go.
they sell our
Yeah.
popcorn.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. Well, Gary, I got to tell you, I love the background of your story, and when we met about a year and a half ago, I told you that. I just think these are the types of entrepreneurial things that make Fort Wayne and the greater Fort Wayne such a unique place, right? And do you have any advice for young entrepreneurs out there as they're trying to come up in whatever their product line is, whatever they're trying to do? Do you have any advice that you would give them about whether it's to not give up or look for the light at the end of the tunnel? Do you have any thoughts on what you would tell a young entrepreneur?
One of Lindsay's goals was to be an entrepreneur and to help other entrepreneurs. And so I still have a passion for that too. And that was one of the things, some of her employees, most of them wanted to go into medical. And that's what they were pushed in school. And she had one girl that was very interested in it, and she said they tried to talk her out of it. That girl did change her career. She even changed her school for that reason. And, she just couldn't believe that someone as young as Lindsay could do that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think you have to be anointed to that.
Right.
You have to anoint yourself. And so if you have that passion, you have that drive, go for it. We just started recently selling some candles. It's a young lady local that's making them, and she's making them look like our popcorn. And I've got them in the store, and people are loving them.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's the entrepreneur spirit that, she's got there. And so you go for it.
Excellent.
And just don't give up. Put the passion into it. And I think that's where Colonel Coladas and Poptique came from, was Lindsay's passion. Because there's a good majority of Poptique that she created, more that she did that hasn't changed and has changed
Mm-hmm.
over the years.
Where would you say she shows up in your work today? Obviously, it's been a while since she's passed, but she's still got to show up somewhere in the work that you do every day.
The quality and the passion for the product.
Mm-hmm.
And I carry one of her keychains in my pocket that lights up with her name on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I put that in my pocket a couple years ago. It was in her bedroom. And she was one of the little girls that loved 20 keychains with one key.
Yeah.
And so I had put that in my pocket about a year ago because I knew Christmas was going to be a rough time. We're so busy.
Yeah.
And it's been there ever since.
Well, that's great.
Nice.
Well, Gary, congratulations on all the success. I'm assuming you're going to let us keep this popcorn?
Yeah.
You're not going to take it back? Okay. And I have to say this, that congratulations on being the Poptique Popcorn Pioneer.
Yes. Thank you.
Excellent. We wish you continued success, and we will be working with you on our upcoming fam tours. So keep an eye out for us. We'll keep an eye out for you, and thanks again, and congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me in here.
Thank you, my
It's
friend.
been a lot of fun.